different ways. We'll be using class a lot, but then we also can pick an element. Earlier on, after dropping this, we didn't know what elements they were, right, in the HTML, but by reviewing it in the source code, we are seeing it to be an SVG element, right? So it means that when I come here into my style here and target the SVG, which is the post content card, and then we have the direct divs SVG, okay, it means that we already have the direct div which we are targeting, which is that container there controlling the icons. Now that we are saying the icons are SVG icons, so when we target it and then apply the effect to that SVG, you will see it affects the icon. So we say the height there should be 28 px, okay, and then we would give it a width of 28 px, and then we also want to give the color of green, okay. Now the reason why I'm assigning the color green to all of them is that the trash can will not change color. It's only the pencil that will change, okay, because the trash can, the type of icon I pick is colored, so it won't, they did not do it to dynamically pick any color that the third user or third party defines. It is not created like that for it to pick the trash, this particular type. I use the, when you go into the React icons and then pick the icons, you see a colored edition of the icons, okay. That one is coming from the import we made here, this one, and it's coming from the FC class, okay. So that particular one does not change color. That's why I'm using, other than that, I would have defined them separately to have different colors. This styling would be the same for all of them here, but then the color maybe would be different. But because the other one will not change color, that's why I'm doing it this way. So let me save and show you. Now you can see the pen is changed color to green, but then the trash still remains as its original color because it wasn't created to alter its color, right? Good. So now we are getting somewhere. Now we also wanted to change the hover effect. When we put our mouse on it, it should change to a pointer. You see this part, because it's already a link, we'll also customize this and remove the underline and so on, and then that default color around it. But this should also have a hover effect. So I'm going back here and then pick that same element, or we can pick it from the card portion and then make the entire card have that hover effect. Okay, so it means if you hover on the card, it should give you a hover effect. Or since we targeting the elements here, we can still do that. We will say the pointer, cursor should be pointer, okay. So now when I hover my mouse, okay, it's behind, slightly behind another element sitting on it. So let's customize it and then we'll come back and then work on that. So let's do this. Now we're picking, let's style the other part of the post. So posts content card, and then its hover effect should have a background color of blue, okay. So that's 0 EACE 0. Okay, so it means when I hover, that blue color is what you are seeing there. And then anytime you hover on it, it should remove the box shadow on that particular element you have hovered on. So let's say you recall we added a box shadow around all the elements, but then the one on which the mouse is currently on should have a box shadow of none. So anytime, you can see, anytime I hover my mouse over an element, the box shadow goes off. It goes off. And then when immediately I leave that place, it comes back on again. The next thing we want to look at, let me put this thing here, is to work on the anchors. Okay, you take note of this. We also added links. This thing, we use the React links to actually wrap from the React router DOM to actually generate these links, right? But then when you inspect these links, they are not link, actually they are not LINK, right? Or the nav links, they are not like that, but they are always formatted down to be anchors. So in code, they are actually anchors, and therefore if you want to style them or target them with CSS, you need to target the anchors. So we have the post, they are coming from the post content card. All the anchors inside it is what will be affected. So let's go and target that as well. So post content card, all the anchors inside it should have a text decoration of none. Okay, so you can see now all the underlines are gone, right? We also want to give it a color, because it's a link. It has a default color of this thing when it's visited. So let's change the color to black. So I want to use a black color. So 3 zeros will give us that. And then we can also increase the font size a little bit. So font size should be let's say 18px. Okay, so 18px font size. So you can see now it's taking a good form, and it looks the same as the one we are referencing it to, almost the same, right? So there's it. We are targeting the anchors in that particular element. So sometimes, you see, programming comes in so many, like you need so many tools in order to get the overall look and feel of your entire design. So you just don't look at the development at the IDE you are using, the integrated development environment you are using to actually build the application, like the VS Code we are using. You have to also, if it's web especially, you use the browsers also to support yourself, because eventually whatever you are building in the VS Code would be rendered in browsers. So you can use the browsers console to or development console to actually inspect some of the elements and see exactly how they are being rendered there, and then you can target them. Some are even the style sheets. If there are some other leaking effects that are coming in, you can target them and know exactly what you have to do in order to get the results that you wanted. Okay, so now we are almost done with this part. Let's inspect that. Good. And the scroll effect is also the same, because we set it to have a maximum height. So we have that. And when we go to home, we have the footer there, but here the footer is here, we can't see it on this, so it means on the post page we have to bring the footer in here. So let's go back and do that. We have to insert the footer back in here. So we'll target the post content. So we are going to the post content, and then the post content itself is also being housed by, let's see, we have the post page. We have a page called post, right? So at this place we have this section. So it means if we are to put the footer in the page, we have to do it from the post section here. So below this section we would put the footer component. Well, the footer was created in the form of a component. There's it, and that is what we placed on the main page, the home page. So it means we can reuse that again. So when I call the footer, all I have to do is to import it. There's it. Okay, not capital F here, but then I think are we sure that is it? Let me see. Did it import? No. So it did not resolve. We have the footer component, but then it did not resolve. So we have to import it manually. Yours may resolve. Mine, sometimes the system does not resolve quickly. So you go to import. I'm importing footer from so I'm in the post component. So then the post component is in the pages folder, so it has to come out to enter into the components folder. So it means I need to go one step up and then go to components folder, then come to the footer component. That's it. So when you do that, you should be able to get your footer component. Now, so that is it. I'm calling that, and then I have passed that in here. So when I come back to my page, let me refresh, and then you can now see my footer showing up at the bottom here, nicely formatted, and then my cards are also being displayed. So now you can see this is just one approach. When we finish with this design, we would also be building a very nice simple design like a banking system, but not very fully fledged banking system, something to actually show you how you can be able to access your database, submit contents in, all that kind of thing, logics. So once we are doing this, take note of that you are learning something that will help you tune. You can tune this to a different logic, like a different way, architecture, design. So whatever design that comes into your mind, you can use these approaches to actually get it work. Okay, so if you are understanding the way these things work, that is the better way. Don't see this as one complete design and this is how it can be. You have to understand it, that this logic, the way we are building these components, building the request to our endpoints, calling the API from the JSON server, and then bringing it into the code like we did at this place, how we made a fetch. Okay, we are going to actually do for the submit, and then you see how the submit also works, the post also works. So that's all the logic you need. Okay, it's so simple. You just have to go through them, understand how they work, and then you use it in other things as well, other designs on your own. So please be making sure that, okay, they said my network is bad. Yeah, sorry for that. It looks like because the light is off, my internet service is not all that strong. Okay,